Have you ever felt like a fraud, even when you are successful? Picture this. You've just achieved something fantastic. Maybe you've aced a crucial exam, or you've been promoted at work. But instead of basking in the glory of your achievement, you're shaking in your boots, waiting for someone to pop out of the woodwork and expose you as a fraud. Does this sound familiar? Well, you're not alone. What you're experiencing is called imposter syndrome, a psychological pattern where individuals doubt their accomplishments and have a persistent fear of being exposed as a fraud. It's not a rare phenomenon either. It's so widespread that psychologists have estimated that nearly 70% of people experience these imposter feelings at some point in their lives. Now, let's delve into some common symptoms of imposter syndrome. The first and most obvious is feeling like a fraud. You might think you've fooled everyone into believing you're more competent than you are, and it's only a matter of time before they discover the truth. Another symptom is attributing your success to luck or external factors. You might think, I just got lucky, or anyone could have done it if they were in the right place at the right time. This line of thinking discounts your skills, talents, and the hard work you've put into achieving your success. Finally, one of the most debilitating symptoms of imposter syndrome is the fear of failure. This fear can be so intense that it paralyzes you, preventing you from taking on new challenges or stepping out of your comfort zone. You might avoid situations where you could potentially fail or be judged, thereby limiting your growth and potential. So, if you've ever felt like you're masquerading as a more competent person, if you've discounted your success as luck or timing, or if you've been held back by the fear of failure, you might be experiencing imposter syndrome. But don't worry, recognizing these feelings is the first step towards overcoming them. So, take a deep breath, pat yourself on the back for your accomplishments, and remember, if you've felt like this, you might be experiencing imposter syndrome. Feeling like an imposter, you're not alone. This feeling, this gnawing doubt that you're a fraud about to be unmasked, is called imposter syndrome. It's more prevalent than you might imagine, and it's certainly not a sign of incompetence. In fact, it's often the opposite. Many successful individuals from all walks of life frequently grapple with this very same sentiment. You see, imposter syndrome doesn't discriminate. It can affect anyone, regardless of their achievements or status. And it's this universality that should bring us a sense of comfort, a sense of shared experience. Understanding that imposter syndrome is not an isolated phenomenon can help alleviate feelings of being alone in this struggle. So if you're battling with self-doubt, remember, it's not a reflection of your abilities, but rather a common psychological pattern experienced by many. It's okay to have these feelings. Accepting this can be the first step towards overcoming imposter syndrome. Remember, it's more common than you think. What situations make you feel like an imposter? This question is not intended to make you uncomfortable, but rather to prompt self-awareness. Identifying your personal triggers is a crucial step in overcoming imposter syndrome. You see, triggers are situations or events that spark feelings of self-doubt or inadequacy. They could be anything from delivering a presentation, to receiving a promotion, to stepping into a room full of accomplished individuals. But remember, these triggers are unique to each person, much like fingerprints. By paying close attention to when and where these feelings of being an imposter arise, you can start to understand your triggers. This understanding serves as a roadmap, guiding you to the root of your imposter syndrome. It's about piecing together the puzzle of your personal narrative, and in doing so, gaining control over your self-perception. Knowing your triggers is the first step in managing them. And with each step, you'll find yourself moving closer to confidence and away from self-doubt. Do you find yourself doubting your capabilities? If so, it's time to take a step back and challenge those negative thoughts. Let's engage in a bit of thought wrestling, shall we? Negative thoughts, like a pesky mosquito, have a knack for buzzing around our minds, especially when we're feeling vulnerable. But just as you wouldn't let a mosquito have a field day, don't let these thoughts go unchallenged. Each time a self-doubting thought pops up, counter it with concrete evidence of your achievements. Remember that time you aced a challenging project, or when you stepped out of your comfort zone and it paid off. Those are your victories. Celebrate them. One effective way to do this is by keeping a record of your accomplishments, big or small. This can serve as a handy arsenal when self-doubt starts creeping in. Remember, our minds can be our greatest allies or our worst enemies. It's about learning to guide our thoughts in a way that empowers us. You are more capable than you give yourself credit for. You don't have to face imposter syndrome alone. Yes, that's right. There's a world of support out there waiting for you, and it's crucial to tap into it. Sharing your experiences with others can be a game changer. It could be a trusted friend, a family member, or even a therapist. You'd be surprised how many people can relate to your feelings of self-doubt and fear of being exposed as a fraud. Opening up about your imposter feelings can lend you fresh perspectives and practical advice. You may find that what you perceive as your shortcomings are often your strengths seen through a distorted lens. Moreover, having a supportive network around you can provide validation when you need it the most and remind you that you are not alone in this journey. Now, let's talk about setting realistic goals. One of the reasons why imposter syndrome thrives is because we often set unrealistic expectations for ourselves. We aim for the moon, and when we land among the stars, we feel like we've failed. But remember, every giant leap begins with small steps. Start by breaking down your larger goals into smaller, more manageable tasks. Each task you complete is a victory, a proof of your capabilities and accomplishments. This strategy not only makes your goals more attainable, but also provides a steady stream of confidence-boosting achievements. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small it seems. Every step forward, every task completed, every fear confronted is a victory against your imposter feelings. Recognize these victories and let them fuel your journey forward. Imposter syndrome can make you feel like you're constantly running a race and falling behind. But remember, life is not a race. It's a journey. And in this journey, what counts is not how swiftly you reach your destination, but the courage and perseverance you display along the way. So, share your experiences, seek support, set realistic goals, and celebrate your victories. Let these be your weapons against imposter syndrome. Remember, every step forward is a victory, and each victory brings you one step closer to overcoming imposter syndrome. Are you your own worst critic? If your answer is yes, it's time to embrace self-compassion. Often, we are harsher on ourselves than we would be on others. We need to remember that to err is human. When we make mistakes, it's important to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding instead of criticism. This isn't about making excuses. Rather, it's about accepting our imperfections. While self-compassion is about being gentle with ourselves in times of failure, focusing on growth is about embracing these failures as stepping stones to improvement. It's about adopting a growth mindset, viewing challenges not as threats, but opportunities to learn and develop. With a growth mindset, we understand that our abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. So let's stop berating ourselves over our shortcomings and start celebrating our capacity to grow, to learn, and to improve. You are a work in progress, and that's okay. How do you take care of yourself? You might think this question is about getting enough sleep or eating your greens, but when it comes to managing imposter syndrome, taking care of yourself goes beyond just physical wellness. It's also about mental and emotional well-being. It's important to take time for yourself, to relax and recharge, to do things that make you happy and keep you grounded. This could be as simple as taking a walk in the park, practicing yoga, or reading a good book. Or it could be something more involved, like taking up a new hobby or learning a new skill. These activities not only help alleviate stress, but also remind you of your unique abilities and interests, reinforcing your self-confidence. But self-care isn't just about doing things you enjoy. It's also about taking care of your mental health. This could mean setting boundaries to ensure you're not overworking yourself, or seeking the help of a therapist or counselor if you're struggling with feelings of self-doubt or inadequacy. Now let's talk about feedback. It's natural to fear criticism, especially when you're already questioning your capabilities. But feedback, especially constructive feedback, is a powerful tool for growth and self-improvement. It gives you an external perspective on your performance, helping you understand your strengths and areas for improvement. Remember, everyone makes mistakes and has room for improvement. So, when you receive feedback, don't take it as a confirmation of your fears, but as an opportunity to learn and grow. And don't forget to seek out positive feedback as well. Hearing about the things you're doing well can reinforce your confidence and help dispel feelings of inadequacy. So, there you have it. Managing imposter syndrome isn't just about changing the way you think, it's also about taking care of yourself and seeking constructive feedback. It's about recognizing your worth, not just in your accomplishments, but in who you are as a person. Remember, overcoming imposter syndrome is a journey, not a destination. It's about consistent growth, self-compassion, and resilience. So be kind to yourself and celebrate every step you take towards building a positive self-image.